I mean,
Hello,
I
viewer.
fancy
How are you
some
doing?
things.
Welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben. Oh, yes, we're back after a
We've been on
hiatus.
hiatus.
That's what they call it now, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been like Matchbox 20 in the noughties until they released North, and then they went back on hiatus again. We are the Matchbox 20 of YouTube.
I say
Apart
that's
from
what,
Matchbox 20, are also the Matchbox 20 of YouTube. But that aside, we are the Matchbox 20 of YouTube. We're back from our hiatus.
I said. That's what they call it now.
Yeah.
The word hiatus goes back to the 1560s, meaning a break or opening in a material object, especially in anatomy, from the Latin hiatus.
Did you just look that up, or have
I
you?
just looked that up. So, yeah.
I was just about to. Yeah, I was
just
very impressed. You should have just lied, Phil, and said, "I know this."
It's just Latin, basically, so it's not really what they call it now. It's quite
So,
old.
I think the last time we did a show was back in March. We've both had some things going on, which so
And then
we
we
took
just
a
got
little
out
bit
the
of a
habit. We
break.
got out the routine, and then
We got out the routine. Life got in the way, and I won't lie, because I think it should be that everybody should talk about it. I had some mental health problems, so if anybody out there has got any or is suffering, please, find someone to talk to, or go round to your mum's most days and steal her crisps. They work for me. It could work for you. It might not, but it's an option anyway. But in that time, Philster, we've still got stuff we need to catch up on, because we're still doing our favourite album of the 90s, and we got part of the way through 1992. So we need to get back that on track, because the millions of viewers out there, and there are millions, are thinking, well, I don't know. What is their favourite album of 1992? Is it Enya? It isn't, but it could be. Did she have an album in 92? I don't know. Because we haven't finished 1992.
Was it actually the night? Hang on, weren't we doing the 2000s?
Not the 90s, the noughties. So it wasn't Enya. God, blimey.
Well, it probably was. She probably still was.
Yeah. It was the noughties. What was our favourite album? So we got to 2002, didn't we? We got
to 02, and then we kind of left it. But I think we should.
pick
I
it
don't
back
know whether
up.
we can come back on each year. I don't know how we're going to do this, but we need to somehow talk about albums of the 2000s every week. We probably won't get through every year in the way that we planned at the start of the year, but we can just go and talk about them.
And then come up at the final, well, do you know what we could do, Phil? We could cheat. This is internet world. We could just say we've been sat on these, and then just we've only got 2002 and 2003 to get out of the way, and then we could start talking about 2004, and nobody would know.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, you see, this is internet world. Who knows what goes on within it? So
you
quite a lot. First.
Yeah, well, quite a lot's been happening in the music world, in the world of major artists since we last made.
Oh, let me guess. Here we go. Everybody strap in for Madonna Fest.
Well, I mean, I say there's two that I can think of been talked about. I keep seeing in my music feeds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So on the 3rd of July, Madonna, the most successful woman in the history of music, is making a new album, which obviously has been made already. It's called Confessions 2, which is the first time she's done a sequel to an album.
No.
You see, she never does anything twice. So she always does something new every time. So
she got married again.
Well, that's true. Doing a sequel.
I bet she has breakfast.
Yeah, so doing a sequel has not been done before, but is this really a sequel? It's a spiritual sequel. We can talk about that a bit more later. Well, that comes out on the 3rd of July. There's a lot of promotion for that going on, what they call organic promotion, and all sorts of stuff has been happening. And then, of course, there's Paul McCartney, who is, think,
Dungeon Lane,
by many measures, the most successful songwriter of all time. Or there's certainly metrics by which he can be declared that. So that's out now. The Boys of Dungeon Lane.
Have you listened to it yet?
I have listened to bits of it. I haven't properly played the whole thing through, and that's not really right, is it? Because I think it's an album that should be played all the way through.
I've heard the single.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything of the album yet.
Well, I think it's good. Now, what people are saying some people are saying is it's the best thing Paul McCartney's done for decades or things like that. Now, I don't
Well,
know whether that's because it really is or whether it's just because some people haven't really been paying attention to Paul McCartney.
to what
And
he's
it's,
been doing.
yeah,
Because I quite liked Egypt Station was a really good album. And then
well,
was it New, the one that had the one
Save
about
Us,
the one that had about the hand in my pocket, about the ball
Queenie
game.
Eye, Queenie
Yeah,
Eye.
Queenie Eye, that was it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and there's also Memories Almost Full, wasn't a bad
yeah.
album.
That wasn't a bad album.
I'm even a defender. I'm the Driving Rain defender. I like Driving Rain.
No,
Um,
I've never really. I don't think I think I've put it on when we've spoken about it, but I've never got myself sort of. My glasses have gone loose.
it
I'm
takes a
going to.
little while.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's I don't mind a bit of McCartney. I know.
So I don't know whether, say, I haven't listened to this album properly. On the face of it, it sounds like another good quality Paul McCartney album. People are saying it's better than McCartney 3. Maybe it is. Maybe it has a bit more. Maybe it's the emotional resonance of the songs. Maybe because he's reaching right back to Liverpool childhood.
Yeah, yeah,
People are talking about the final track on the album, which has something to do with mum or mama or something in the title. It's a childhood themed song.
yeah.
People are talking about that as being a masterpiece and one of his greatest, possibly ever songs. So that's quite
I
an
mean, he's not
extraordinary
doing bad.
claim.
He's in his 80s now.
Well, he's 83 when he made this, so
Yeah.
he'll be 84 on the as very soon after we record this, because isn't it the 2nd of June, 42?
June, yeah, I know
That
it's
when he was
somewhere
born.
around my dad's birthday. But
So he's going
talking
to be.
of 80-year-old rockers bringing it back, the Stones have got a new album coming out as well.
There is a new album coming out now. There's a common thread between the Beatles, or
18th
the
of June.
McCartney album, and the Stones album. They have the same producer.
Is
This
it the
is
guy who
Andrew
did the
Watt.
last Stones album? Is it the
Yeah,
same?
this is Andrew Watt.
That's it.
He of the blonde hair and a very modern look. Now he did the Stones album, Hackney
Hackney
Diamonds,
Diamonds.
2023. Now
Great album.
he's also worked with another classic rock kind of actor. I can't think who that is, but he's also worked with Justin Bieber
The
and
Beebs.
I think he's done stuff with Lady Gaga
The
and
Gaga.
lots of pop type people. So
Oh.
this is it's an unusual thing because he seems to have a genuine passion for all the old music history,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
loves the Beatles and the Stones. But then he got into working with these pop people, and I feel that maybe the pop stuff wasn't where he necessarily entirely wanted to be, but he does bring this modern, what should I call it, a sheen to the albums. I don't know. They don't sound like retro albums anyway. They sound of now.
Yeah.
But the thing he does seem to have, and I know some people have criticised his production of Hackney Diamonds, but things like compressed drums, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But what he does seem to have is an ability to get these veteran artists enthusiastic about making their records, because the Rolling Stones did seem to be, they did feel as if they were quite energetic and up for it on Hackney Diamonds, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. And what
And
they hadn't recorded an album since 2009's Bigger Bang, like an original album. Was it 2009 Bigger Bang?
I think it was even longer ago than that. I think it was '05 a Bigger
It was
Bang.
'05. Yeah, so to record 2 albums in 3 years,
Yeah,
that's pretty good going.
he's enthused them again, and he seems to have also enthused
Yeah, it was
Paul McCartney.
2005.
So, whatever you think about the production, although having said that, if you listen to Paul McCartney albums for the last 20 years, they've all got a fairly modern kind of
Yeah,
production.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's not like he's trying to sound like the 70s or something.
No,
So, I say I can't really offer a verdict on it because I don't know the album properly. But
no.
I have seen people raving about it. I've seen people who are McCartney fans and Beatles fanatics raving, and you might say, "Oh, well, you'd expect that." But there's also people who are kind of casual about Paul McCartney, just general music fans who are saying they're very impressed by it. So it sounds like it's worth checking out. But I
Yeah,
think
I'll give it a listen.
you've got to expect it to be a mature record, obviously, and one where his voice is older. Although I suspect he's written the songs. From what I've heard so far, he seems to have written the songs to suit his current vocal
His
ability.
voice, yeah. Oh, Foreign Tongues, that's what it's called. And I do like the album cover as well.
This
I
is the
think
Stones. Yeah.
yeah.
It's supposed to
62
sound.
minutes, so it's on for.
They say it sounds more, a little bit more rough and ready sounding than Hackney
Yeah,
Diamonds.
well, I think the single In the Stars, that sounds a little bit like Doom and Gloom when it starts. I don't know if you've heard it.
Yeah.
That, I was
There's,
piloting in a plane. All
there's
the
also
passengers were drunk and
there's
insane.
there's also another track which is kind of, is it called Rough and Twisted?
Rough and Twisted, yeah. It was
Which
released at the
sounds,
same time as the other one.
and it sounds like what you'd expect a Rolling Stones called Rough and Twisted to sound
Yeah.
like, basically. It sounds quite good, yeah. So, I mean, it is extraordinary, isn't it? Could you imagine being around in the 60s, being a youngster in the 60s, and somebody told you that in 2026 the Rolling Stones would still be making a brand new album, and
I know.
Paul McCartney would be making a new album? That would be. I don't think
Can you
anyone would
imagine
anyone have believed that. Do you think anyone in the 60s would have believed that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, could you imagine in the new 60s when they come round, the Arctic Monkeys still doing My Propeller and, all that Riot Van and stuff like that? I don't think you can you? So,
No.
but no, I mean, it is mad. You think what they've gone through, and I actually saw a little bit of McCartney the other day because on the Tube of You, which we're on now, they've got all the they've started slowly releasing all the TFI Friday episodes from the beginning, and it made me realise oh God, so much time has gone since 95, 96. But also, and I bang on about it all the time, as you well know, Philster, the 90s. Well, the early part of the 90s was pretty rubbish. But that sort of 94 onwards, it was mega. It was mega to be around. And TFI Fridays just made me think, I missed that. Yeah, I felt really nostalgic and just thought, I mean, you wouldn't get away with a lot of what they did now, but just the music and it just made me hark back for a time that I can never revisit. It was brilliant. So I've just literally watched the Paul McCartney one from when he released Flaming Pie, and he was
Does
only
he?
a youthful type. He was only a couple of years older than you at that point.
I know. How old was Paul McCartney when he made Flaming Pie? He was in his
54, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet you look at it now. Does he look young?
Yeah. I mean, obviously compared to what he looks like now, yeah. But you kind of, at the time, I remember
I
thinking,
thought he was really old.
you think he's old and stuff, and you're thinking, oh yeah. But now all those bands that were on TFI Friday at that time, so people like, I think the episodes I've seen has been Sleeper, Shed 7, Reef, Ocean Colour Scene, all these sort of bands. They're all the same age, if not older now,
Are they? Where are
which
you
is
watching?
mad. I mean, Noel Gallagher's birthday was the other day because it was the same day as my youngest child's. So he's now 59, I think, Noel Gallagher.
Wow, where are you watching all of these?
On the YouTube.
They're all right. They're not on Channel 4's official
No. Well, I
thing.
don't know that. I didn't check who's uploading them, whether it was Channel 4. But
Probably not. I
it,
don't
it
think
also
they
made
put
me
it on
think, because
YouTube.
then I start thinking about Don't Forget Your Toothbrush and all that sort of time. And I realised that Chris Evans is possibly a bit of a genius. But there's nothing like that on TV anymore. And I feel sorry for you out there, the youth, the Utes, the 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 children of the noughties. You're never going to experience anything like that because the internet ruined everything, really,
What's
didn't it?
this thing he does called TFI Friday Unplugged that's on
Oh,
YouTube?
this is what he's been doing on his
On his radio
Virgin
show?
Radio show. So he's recreated, well, he hasn't recreated, but he's made the radio studio look a little bit like the
TFI.
TFI Friday studio,
Right.
and he just basically interviews people in there. I mean, I've read his book, and I know this does have something to do with music because obviously Chris Evans was of that. And yeah, how those shows got made is beyond me because the stuff that was going on, it
Well, I'm
was
just looking at one now on the TFI Friday official channel on YouTube, and it's called Björk: Why I Attacked a Photographer at
yeah,
Bangkok
yeah. That's
Airport.
the next one on my list to watch. I think that one. But remember,
So,
you had Sean Ryder swearing at 6 p.m. It was brilliant, and then they had to start staggering it, didn't they?
so here we've got, and he's got an official channel, TFI Friday official, but these are short videos.
Yeah,
Vinnie Jones storms out, Courtney Cox, Bob Hoskins, Spice Girls. So these are like, oh, hang on, these are also official because these are, oh, they've got actual episodes here, full
yeah, yeah. The full
episodes.
episodes are on there.
Lost for 30 years.
Apparently,
Step back into the chaos of 90s. I'm going to have to start watching all these again, Ben. Oh,
oh,
my word.
it is like watching. I don't know if you've seen Train Spotting too, but when that opening dum 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 of Born Slippy comes on, and it just makes you think, I'm getting older.
Episode
Oh.
1, Episode 2. So, Episode 2, Sean Ryder. So, was that when Sean Ryder swore on TV?
Yeah, but I thought it was
Was that
later
episode?
than
I
that. I
thought it
thought,
was. Was it only
yeah,
Episode 2?
I thought it was later that episode, but yeah, but TFI Fridays, what a
Wow.
show that was, weren't it? It was brilliant. I remember finishing work and that's get home, get TFI Fridays on. The weekend has begun.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Well, before that, I thought the start of the week, in the early 90s, maybe you're too young to remember this, but there was a time when watching The Word on Friday
Yeah, the
night
Word, yeah. Because I
that
saw
was the
Oasis
start.
on the Word and Nirvana and people sitting
Yeah.
in bathtubs and Katie Puttrick and
Katie
Terry
Puttrick,
Christian
that's right.
and Danny Bear.
That's right. Amanda de Cadney.
Yeah,
When was, I remember it around even like 1990, The Word, 90 or 91.
I would say for me, probably I picked up more on it because I was only 11 in 1990. I know you were about 43. So it would have been around 92, 93 for me. 93
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, because it used to be the Word. You had, obviously around that time, you had Fantasy Football League, the Word, Ren and Stimpy. And then you had, on a Friday, I think you had like the James Whale Show, Tropical Heat, Tour of Duty. Oh, it's a brilliant time to be alive, Philster. If I could have a time machine, I'd go back to that.
Go back to the 90s.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You'd have no mobile phone.
That's fine. Because I think, and we're all guilty of it, I think my mobile phone controls my life too much. And I like a time when you had to wait till you either got back in the car and put BBC Radio 5 on, or you had to get home to see the end of Grandstand to find out what the football results were. Whereas now it tells you before probably the teams even scored.
That
You
is a
know,
thing, isn't it? That
yeah, yeah,
you're almost too connected.
yeah. And then clickbait just sounded like a fishing term. So you know, I could do that. Do you know what I've often said? And this has nothing to. Well, it does probably have a bit to do with music. If there was such a thing as a one-day time machine, and you could go back and visit one day in history, yeah, maybe go back and see like how Paul McCartney and John Lennon's first meeting went, or be it King Tut's Wah Wah Hut. But you know what? I'd like to just go back to sort of a random year, 92, 93, say 93, 94, just a random Tuesday, and just see what I did. What was life like? Because unless you had a video recorder like this, I could watch myself watching the Word.
It could be quite boring. So this
Yeah,
is my question to you.
go on.
If you had a new album,
Yes.
how would you go about promoting your new album?
How would I go about promoting my new? I don't know. I'd do something stupid. You know, release it from a cannon into a children's swimming pool, or I don't know. I don't because most things have most things been done? You know, could I get it? You know, could I get the album cover etched onto the surface of the moon?
Maybe you could. I just wondered whether you were aware of the things that Madonna has done to promote the upcoming album. Are you tuned into the rollout? Because the thing is, you see, I'm tuned into the rollout because I turn on my phone
Yeah.
and I get I get stuff about Madonna on there, but then
Can
my
I just
phone's
say,
it's not a
everybody?
normal person's phone, is it? So
No. Can I
I'm
just
six. Yeah,
Can I just say for the everybody? He says about this Madonna thing. Not only does he get them, but then he sends them to me, and so my phone is now inundated with Madonna stuff. Because if you're watching Madonna, Madge, whatever you like to be called, and I know you probably are because you like my big hair, he loves you in a weird amount.
yeah. So first of all, we saw what did we see first? We saw the album cover. We saw
Yeah,
that, and then I can't remember what order these things have happened in, but these are some of the things that she's done to promote the album. So she popped up at a nightclub in West Hollywood, some sort of obviously a well-known gay nightclub, and then did a DJ set along with Stuart Price, the DJ and producer who's behind the album. So
yeah.
that obviously got onto the internet. She had one new song previewed from the album. It's not officially a single. It's the opening track on the album. It's not been described as a single because they didn't put out a physical version, but that was a preview track. So that got on the radio. Then she put out another preview track, which is a collaboration with Sabrina Carpenter. And then she popped up on the Coachella Festival stage as the guest of Sabrina Carpenter. She then appeared, then some posters appeared in London of the album, promoting the new album, and they were put up overnight. And they seemed to be, I don't know whether they were legal or not, but the idea was they're supposed to look like illegal fly posters. Maybe they were legal or not, I don't know. But then there was a video a couple of days after that, which revealed that she had been in London and she had actually put up some of the posters
Oh, really?
herself. Yeah, so that was then, that was another of the things that was done. Then she's also appeared on a video with a guy called Jim Skin, who I've never heard of, who's some kind of YouTube. What are these YouTube TikTok people? What
Oh,
these people,
YouTubers, they're the
or
worst.
TikTok or whatever he does. I don't know whether he
Yeah.
does fitness or whatever he does, but he started a thing where people were dancing to Into the Groove some months ago. So that's why he got. So she's done that. She's then also appeared on. She's had some chat on. Is it? No, I've never been on this, Ben, but it's called Grinder. So where you go if you're gay to go to get a date.
Apparently so, Philster. Now
She
you've
appeared
told me
on.
that. I just thought it was something
She
you'd go on to meet like-minded people who could go dog
so
walking with you.
she went on that with some of her gay friends, and they had a chat, and then she said something naughty on that. So that's obviously
Friends.
got something. She's said something on there that obviously has got media coverage. Then she's also donated money to, or she's done a collaboration with some financial app in America called Built, which apparently is some kind of thing. I don't know exactly what it is. It's like a bank
Yeah.
where if people are renting a property, instead of paying the landlord directly, you basically, your money goes to this Built, and then obviously they distribute it to the landlord or something like that, right? And so she's done a collaboration with that. And that's also, there's some money being given to the building in New York, which is a rehearsal space building in this tower block in Times Square, where musicians rehearse. It's where she rehearsed and lived illegally for a while before she was famous. The Strokes were
Illegally?
there. Yeah, the Strokes were there.
Ooh.
So all these artists rehearse in this building, and it still is a place where upcoming artists can rehearse in the middle of New York. So there's that. I'm trying to think what some of the other things are, but it's what they're calling an organic rollout because she's doing all these different things. Some of them are actually like real life stuff, like putting
Yeah.
stuff on walls and things, as opposed to doing it all on the internet.
I
So I
mean,
don't
she's
know how far.
67 now, isn't she? She needs to
Yeah,
be claiming a pension.
yeah. So I don't
Put her
know
feet
how.
up.
I don't know how far that has permeated into the public consciousness. I'm just aware of these things because I follow this stuff and I get all these things.
I think
But
we'll have to do a review of the album if people
yeah,
out there can withstand Phil getting all hot and moist?
It depends what what you want, because this is going to be a dance album. This is the
I can
dance
listen to
floor.
dance. I'm all about the dance.
You know about the
I've
dance?
listened to Glenn Miller. I'm on it.
You want
Honestly, I
yeah,
mean, look at this. I mean, I've just seen this picture of Madonna. There she is, Madonna.
yeah.
I didn't know if it was
100% real, that is. 100% real.
yeah, I
Exactly
didn't
what
know
she
if it
looks
was
like.
Madonna or Anastasia at first.
It does look not quite like her somehow, doesn't it, that picture?
Well, there's a lot of pictures of Madonna where she doesn't quite look like her. I mean, that's a prime example of one.
I know, they love that one, don't they? The media love that one,
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, she's 67, and I
typically.
think she's earned the right. I mean, to to it'd be like, I think McCartney dropped out of it a bit, but she's still incredibly relevant. And I think to get to 67, I mean, McCartney's always been the Stones are relevant, etc., because they've become like the anchor points that bands in the 90s and everything sort of and then But to be still sort of top of her game, and you think of all the artists that have come since she came out, Tiffany, the Spice Girls, all these sort of people, and people like I don't know, sort of I can't think of the word, contemporaries of the time, like Cyndi Lauper and all these sort of people. The fact that she's still highly relevant and still seen as this, because I always look at Madonna in the same. Her and Michael Jackson sort of had this same sort of pedestal, and I think they still kind of do in a way. I mean, Jackson's obviously proven that with this new movie of his, but yeah, the fact she is 67 in a in a world that is fast moving and always changing and doesn't like people getting older. You got to hold your hands up to her and say, you know what, Madge, you've done all right. You're okay. I
It'll be
think you're
interesting.
gonna. I think you're gonna. Be. I think your albums are gonna probably sell a few.
It'll be interesting to see how it does. It's obviously a lot more difficult now to have a hit on the pop charts if you're an older artist,
Yeah, yeah,
because that's the genre where age counts against you the most. So whereas rock artists like the Stones can have a little bit more. They don't. I mean, obviously there are people who deride the Stones for their age. It happens all the time, but they
yeah.
don't seem to get it quite as much as the women artists, do they?
No,
So
no, no.
it seems to
But
be
then
more of
what?
a thing.
I mean, what is success these days? Because nobody's selling unless you're sort of like the odd one here and there that you're selling. Like Adele. Selling millions of copies of albums. I mean, you look back in the day, everybody said "Be Here Now" was a bit of a flop, but it sold 9 million copies. But bands today would love to sell 9 million copies.
Well, yeah.
People just don't sell that. I know because physical media. I know obviously vinyl records, which I own a few of. Do you like that album cover, by the way? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, so I mean, how do you gauge success of a music album these days? Because they just don't sell in those vast
No,
numbers.
it's and then there's streaming. I don't know enough about streaming numbers, but it's how far does it penetrate into the culture? How many people have listened to it? How well
Yeah,
known is
yeah.
the album? That's
I
the question.
I I will say, and I have the audio book on in my car at the moment. The Rise, the Fall, the Resurrection of Oasis by John Robb, and he does say in there that Be Here Now was probably the last big album before the internet came along, where people kind of then you had the things like LimeWire and Napster and stuff like that, and people were sort of moving away from that physical media and were starting to do illegal things and stuff, but you know that sort of thing of waiting outside a record store to get your album. I mean, people would go, "Oh God, he's talking about Oasis again." But you look at Be Here Now, and that got released. People queuing outside HMV, other stores are available. You don't get that anymore. When was the last time you saw people queuing for an album? And I know people are going to say, "Oh, you're getting old. It's not the way
Record
it's
store
done."
day. I know
Yeah,
people
yeah.
say record store day. Don't they queue for that, don't they? That's about the
Yeah,
only
they
thing.
did. I queued for it to get Time Flies, and but not in the way that it used to be. I mean, I remember when Oasis released a new single, I'd be up there, first thing that day, going to get it because you wanted to hear it, you needed to hear it. Now you kind of like, it's you're getting old, yeah, but that goes back to the mobile phone thing. It's too easily accessible. So then I don't think you enjoy it as much. I don't think that you sort of take it all in because it's too disposable. Because
Well,
you
it's
can just
yeah.
go on to the next album. Whereas before, you had to go and buy it and it cost money. And, at the time, it was, £10 back in 1996 was probably quite a big percentage of your pay packet. So you did listen to it and you did appreciate it and you did, do all those things. God, I sound old, don't I? But yeah, kids won't have that anymore, and that's a shame, kids. But I did, so did he. Your loss, not ours. You should have got your parents jiggy in a little bit sooner, and then you would have experienced it. So blame your parents, kids. All those parents who had their kids after 1998 or after 1990, because they would have been too young listening to Mr. Blobby. You're to blame. Maybe not you there, but definitely them over there. That's
With
my
that
rant over,
viewer,
Philster.
with that viewer,
Felt good.
we've been on for 30 minutes. I think maybe that is a
That's a
perfect point at
wrap.
which to end it. Yeah. We'll be back with another
We
one very
will.
soon. We'll delve
We
into the
won't be
albums of the
taking quite as long.
2000s.
Yeah, we will do that.
Thanks for watching. Bye for now.